Since Autodesk University in Las Vegas back in December, we were amazed by all the cool things that they were showing that came from the gallery in San Francisco. And now we're finally here doing our broadcast. There's so much to talk about and so much to cover. This has been a fun show already, and if you miss any of the 3 hours today, be sure and swing by the website, intotomorrow.com or graveline.com. Check it all out on our free podcast for you. The senior manager of Autodesk Gallery is Jason Medal-Katz. Jason, welcome back into Tomorrow. How are you?
I'm terrific, Dave. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for having us, because we figure, when you see the wide shots and the other stuff that you'll see on our digital pictures and so forth, you'll see that we've come in and kind of taken over your gallery. But we're not only glad to be here, but it's really cool to talk about all the design elements of our lives and what's involved these days, and everything from bridges to buildings and cathedrals and just the coolest stuff to an office chair. I mean, there's some neat things here in the gallery.
Yeah, this is a place where we can really tell the story of Autodesk and all of the industries that we touch, and really highlight what we do through the work of our customers. We thought that would be a lot more interesting than boxes of software sitting on a table.
Yes.
To see an automobile and a laptop and a bridge and a building and many other things that are created with Autodesk software every day.
And you do show some of the very coolest things that I've ever seen, and we travel the world, as our audience knows, regularly covering things, and as we travel the world, we're always trying to see a museum or something interesting in any city. This is awesome. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you want to see, how design so influences our lives. And you've got all these 3D models. You've got great things here. You even show us how to whip up something out of plastic that was otherwise just a two-dimensional thing in print. And here it spits out as a full three-dimensional item. I mean, you show us how it's done here in the gallery. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of amazing technology that our software touches, either to create these buildings or to work with things like the 3D printers that you've just described. And what we've tried to do with the gallery is not just show the finished projects, whether it's, again, a building or an automobile or a consumer product. We wanted to show the process of design, because that is what is most interesting to us, is how you go from that spark of inspiration all the way through design and engineering and manufacturing to a finished product. And so hopefully that's what's very interesting about what you see here in the gallery.
Oh, it is. I mean, our staff just kind of lingers at certain displays in awe of how things really come together and how the models of things blow you away. And then you go and visit something like the cathedral nearby in Oakland, and we'll talk more about that on the show, and you're literally blown away by how amazing things come out after this whole design process has occurred. So.
Well, as our former CEO, Carol Bartz, liked to say, if it wasn't made by nature, one of our customers probably made it. And
it's true.
Pretty amazing statement, but when you step back and think about it, almost everything that's man-made is touched by Autodesk software somewhere along the way.
Amazing. Now, I know here at the gallery you guys have achieved, I think it's called a LEED Platinum status or something.
That's right.
Now, for us, that means that we might get upgraded on Delta. Platinum status. But for a museum sort of scenario, this is very esteemed. Tell me about that and how you go about achieving that.
Sure. So the LEED rating system is something that is put together by the U.S. Green Building Council. It is the standard for green buildings here in the U.S. and really becoming a standard worldwide as these building councils proliferate throughout the world. So green building, LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And it's all about creating buildings that are sensitive to their environments, that really consider how many resources, how much resources are being used in the day-to-day operations, as well as the construction of the space, and really the comfort of the occupants of the space. So there are 4 levels of LEED: the basic level, silver, gold, and platinum. And we are very proud to be only the second project in all of California to achieve LEED Platinum for commercial interiors.
And as Don told us on the interview segment right before we talked to you, there's so many elements involved with all kinds of green factors, among other things. And you display them very well, I think, here in the gallery. It's really cool to see how these all play such an important role. And, of course, your customers are designing buildings, as one example, anywhere in the world. So there's all these elements that have to be considered, and then the software plays such an important role in saying, all right, well, what are the concerns, and then let us kind of take you through that process.
Exactly.
And you got to be the best thing, especially for architects, ever.
We have a lot of friends in the architecture community, yeah, and as a former architect myself, I can attest to how much the software can really contribute to creating better designs, creating more sustainable designs. As we go through the process of building a gallery like this, it's really great for us to utilize the tools that all of our customers are using. So some people call it eating their own dog food. We prefer to say drinking our own champagne. But the idea is that we're actually using the same tools, the Autodesk tools that our customers are using. Things like Ecotect analysis, which helped us do daylighting analysis of the space to understand how much daylight was coming in, where we could reduce the number of artificial lights, and that helped us get one of those hard-to-come-by LEED points.
Yeah. And, of course, a lot of your customers are continually winning awards in their design, and you guys can kind of kick back and say, yeah, we helped. it was our stuff. And, of course, their design ideas and everything, but it all merges well and plays nicely together, does it not? So
that's right.
You must have, Jason, some favorites here in the gallery, and I know they're all your favorites because they're all your babies, but tell us about a couple that really stand out on a regular basis that if somebody's only got 2 minutes to duck in and see, you have to show.
Yeah, well, certainly some of the technology exhibits we have here. We have a big focus on the work that our customers do in the main part of the gallery, but we also have an area where we expose some of the research and development that we're doing. And I think you'll have some guests talking about some of that here today as well. Yeah. So that's always very interesting for our visitors. In terms of the customer displays, I think there are a couple of displays that really highlight that design and engineering process. And those are the ones that I think people gravitate towards, and sort of peeling back the curtain and seeing what happens behind the scenes. So the One Laptop Per Child project is a wonderful example of that. Yves Bahar and Fuse Project are the designers, and we see sketches from the very first meeting between the designer and the client. We see handmade paper models and other models that were made on computer-controlled milling machines, the final prototype product, and then finally the production model. I think the cathedral that you had a chance to visit is another great example of that, where you see some of the inspiration that the designers used to ultimately come up with those forms.
It truly is awe-inspiring, the cathedral, of course, and a lot of the things that we're talking about here. How often are you able to update the gallery? Is it when another client does something spectacular and award-winning and you say, get us that 3D model quick? That's
certainly part of it. It's all very new for us. We've only been open for about 9 months now. The intention is that we will update the exhibits about every year for most of the exhibits.
Well, in order to see some of the things, and just some of the things that we have time to show you that Jason is talking about, of course, visit our website. You'll look at the videos. I know Chris and Erasmo and their team are working very hard to make sure we show you a lot of the video of some of the things we're talking about here during today's broadcast. But visit autodesk.com/thegallery, and under Jason's picture on this week's show page, we'll get you there. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you very much.